So today we're going to be talking about post-fixation blindness, which sounds like a very scary thing, but it's relatively simple. So as you know, when you have a chiasmal compression of the nasal crossing fiber at the chiasm, like a pituitary adenoma, it can produce a field defect. And the prototype is the bitemporal hemianopsia, bitemporal. And in addition to the visual field problem, the bitemporal hemianopsia can produce non-paretic diplopia, and you can watch that video. That non-paretic diplopia is because we have double vision created by breakdown of our fusion, because the two intact nasal hemifields are not overlapping. So the nasal field of one eye overlaps with the temporal field of the fellow eye, and if you have just two nasal hemispheres juxtaposed together, they might slide. And that slide can cause the diplopia, even though the adductions and versions are full. That is a non-paretic diplopia, an efferent problem created by an afferent problem. That is not what we're talking about today. Today we're talking about post-fixation blindness. And so when you normally have your two visual fields, as I said, the nasal field overlaps with the temporal field, but what if your temporal field is out? You still have two nasal fields that are fine, and if you're looking at a target at infinity, the only thing that will happen to you is you'll bump into things that are in your blind temporal field, but your center vision will be fine. You'll be 20/20. You might not even notice the bitemporal. But once you start looking at something close at near, now the target is at near, you can still see with the two nasal fields, but this blind temporal field here is going to cause a very strange phenomenon. Because the two blind temporal fields are now here, you can't see beyond this fixation point. So that post-fixation blindness will create a new scotoma, but only at near, and only in that triangle extending out from the fixation point. Because the two temporal fields are out, when you converge at near, you no longer have the nasal field past this point, created by convergence. And that is what we call post-fixation blindness. So the patient will be blind in a triangle extending out from the point of fixation, but only at near, and that person should be evaluated for a bitemporal hemianopsia. So both post-fixation blindness and non-paretic diplopia arise from the bitemporal hemianopsia.